Well, welcome back to the Lockdown Tactics podcast, where we bring you a bit of fun, the big names, the big stories, and a mental health message as well. So we're not messing about this week, Snods. We're getting right into it. What a guest we've got lined up. Paul Merson.
Yes, Merson.
How you doing?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Good. Well, we're going to go right back to the start to kick us off. Take us right back to the start of your Arsenal career. I take it you had to be tough to survive and hold your own in that dressing room.
It was different in them days, wasn't it? You had to knock on the door in them days if you wanted to walk in a dressing room. It wasn't like now, you know. You just, as time went on, as my career went on, you played with younger players and they were more and more confident. But it was different in them days. You had to sort of earn your stripes. But yeah, I mean, I was fortunate. I had an unbelievable dressing room. I had Charlie Nicholas, Tony Woodcock, Viv Anderson, Paul Mariner, Graham Ricks, David O'Leary, Kenny Sampson, Pat Jennings. I mean, how much experience is there? I mean, these were top players, and they learnt me a lot. Do you know what I mean? They took me under their wing, which was fortunate. But yeah, I wasn't one of them lads. I wasn't one of them hard lads. Yeah, I mean, I like to play football. I couldn't get out of jail with a tackle in a million years. I mean, that was me. I played football and that was it. So if I was having a bad game, I had a bad game. You know, I never had that. I never had that, you know, get out of jail, win a 50-50 and the crowd are back on your side again. I just didn't have that. It just wasn't me.
Like Snoddy, his first touch usually takes the ball a couple of yards in front of him so he can go and smash somebody just to get the crowd going. But you mentioned a few names there.
If I had his bravery, oh my God, wow. I'd have been a special player. I'd have been a special player. Oh, it's frightened my own shadow. Do you know what I mean? People go, how'd you play that long? You never got injured. I mean, of course you don't get injured if you see someone's coming. You jump out the way.
That's why I'm walking like that. Like a hunchback. I'm like a hunchback.
Yeah, exactly. 32. I thought you were like 42. Seriously, that's when I
That just looks.
I'd love to get hold of Jack Wilshere and say, Jack, don't tackle. It's not your job.
Exactly.
Your job's to provide. You don't have to lunge in and get injured all the time. And, you know, and it's a shame, really. That's, you know, certain players. It's like, he's a team player and he gets involved and he does that. But he don't have to do that. He's good enough not to have to do that. But it's a nice armoury to have if you're not having a good game. You can get out of jail.
Well, you mentioned a few names there, Merce, but who looked after you? Who, you know, was the one that really, you know, put their arm round about you and nurtured you into that dressing room?
I would say Charlie Nicholas, believe it or not. I only say that because, you know, now we work together. But Charlie looked after me, gave me a lot of confidence. You know, he'd always be in the papers saying, you know, this lad's going to be the next Ian Rush. He's a good player and things like that. And he appreciated me. He'd always let me hang around. He'd take me into London. I don't know if that was a good thing or bad, but yeah, I mean, in the end, who knows? But no, he was a massive help for me, Charlie, a real massive help. And considering that I was sort of the player who was trying to take his place when he could have easily shoved me out the way and looked after himself, and he never. And I'll never forget that. He's always been great like that.
Well, see on that, like a lot of the younger generation, they won't know who, you know, even like ourselves and yourself and Charlie Nick. How good because you speak to a lot of, you know, the older generation, and Charlie was how good a player was Charlie Nicholas?
Oh, I mean, I think records goals talks volume. I think it's only Henrik Larsson in Scotland that's beat that record that he's had. I mean,
and myself.
He was a. Oh, have you done that as well?
Yeah. And Coisty, there's a few years.
Tells you every week.
By the way, you teed yourself up for that,
No, he was a very good player. I don't think Arsenal suited him. I think if he looks back now, I just don't think the Arsenal situation suited him. I think Arsenal wasn't a top team at the time. I think if he'd have gone to a Man United and been in a top team, Charlie Nicholas, I think he would have been even more special. But yeah, he was a proper player, like nobody else. I mean, he'd turn up with training in leather shorts. He'd have leather shorts on him. We could get beat 4-0 on the Saturday and he'd walk in like as happy as Larry on Monday. He was just one of them players.
I'm trying to actually picture that. Charlie Nicholas in leather shorts. Leather shorts. I'm not exaggerating. Leather shorts. But he was one of them lads that nothing got him down. You know, we get beat on Saturday 3 or 4 and he would come in Monday, lively, bubbly. Now, I think that's great.
But managers used to hate it. Used to think, oh, what are they laughing and joking for? Just got beat on Saturday. Saturday's gone now. Forget about it. I hate them players who mope around, like all week thinking, oh, we lost on Saturday. And the manager's like, I don't want any laughing or joking. Yeah, he was a proper player. He was a top player. No doubt about that. And I think if he didn't go to Arsenal, I think it'd have been even more special.
Mers, you had some great success at Arsenal. You obviously won the league, you won the European Cup, Winners' Cup. How good was it to be part of that squad at that time?
Oh, massive! I mean, there's no better feeling than winning trophies. I mean, it's a phenomenal feeling to keep on being in a team that not really everybody got on. I don't know what it's like at West Ham, but we weren't like great mates. It weren't like we all went out with our wives on Saturday for a meal and we all liked each other's company. But come what Saturday, everybody, I wasn't one, as I said before, I wasn't a tackler, but I'd worked my socks off. And when we got on that team, everybody looked after everybody. And it's such a nice feeling when you get into a team and everybody's pulling in the same direction. I played in teams when a couple of players are like, not really, I'm only in the team for a couple of weeks and I'll be out again. And you just don't get that sort of camaraderie. But at Arsenal, there was nothing like it.
How big a part did George Graham play in that?
I never won anything after that. Sorry, Chris.
How big a part did George Graham play in that?
I think every part. I think every part of it. I think if it wasn't for George Graham, I don't personally think we'd have won anything. I don't think we were a great team. We were a hard-working team who he set out working every day not to concede goals, and everybody knew their job. We played 4-4-2, and everybody knew when you lost that ball, you went bang 5 yards in front of the fullback, stop the winger getting the ball, and it was like clockwork. Two forwards, one would close down, one would just drop. If you both closed down and the ball went through the middle of both of you to the centre midfield player, you were in major trouble. That would never happen. You'd have one like that, so they had to go sideways. They could never put the ball through, and it was clockwork. And I just personally think if it wasn't for George Graham, I don't think we'd have won anything. I really don't.
Well, see, talk on that there, Miss. So you've went for that type of style to then Arsene Wenger. Yeah, how different was it for you to kind of mentally get your head around that? Because his was all the Invincibles and what he brought to Arsenal. That level of football as such. How different were it then?
It was majorly different, Snods. It was like George had sort of run his course. George's was so bang, 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 bang. And it was like, I could tell you in November, and you say to me, right, Thursday in March, I could tell you what I'm doing. It was that regimental. I could tell you what we were doing. You know what I mean? It was the same. And then Arsene come in, and the lads were in training at 8 in the morning, 9 o'clock. The lads couldn't wait to get to training. The training was different. We were playing basketball. There was no running. Everything was with the ball. You play 8v8. It was 2-touch, or it was 1-touch, but 2-touch if you're going to pass the ball forward or change play. Everything was thinking, and he just changed the whole thing, the whole diet, everything about it was phenomenal. And George Graham was a better tactician, in my opinion, a better tactician. But if you had George Graham's now defensively and you had Arsene Wenger's now going forward,
yep,
my God, I just think what Arsenal could have done.
See that?
See when you go back to with George Graham and Bruce Rioch, I think, came in for that little period as well. Then Arsene took over. What? You played for a year, 2 years, and then you left. But did Arsene Wenger? Did he have to? What would you say? Convince people to change, or did they just do it automatically?
At first, he did. It was like Inspector Clouseau coming in at first, the way he talked. I mean, it was like, it was different. You know what footballers are like. You both play the game at top level. It's, you're always thinking, what are you going to bring? You just come from Japan. This is Arsenal. You sort of, our thought was this a laughing stock at first? But literally, we were doing these stretches and things like that when we went away with England, all the other players were doing what we were doing. I mean, it was unbelievable. Everything was done to the thing. We'd walk in on them. It would give us no responsibility. And I don't mean that in a horrible way, but we'd be on creatine. As you walked into the club training ground, someone would stand in there with an orange juice, Someone would tip the creatine into the orange juice, stir it, give it to you, you drink it, walk on. That is how it was. It weren't you take the creatine home and you do it yourself. It was like that. It was like a factory. It was unbelievable. And I'd never been as fit. He got us so fit without no running. There was
That's
no
it as
running.
well.
There was
You need to be fit. You need to feel the benefits, don't you? You need to feel it.
Oh, as soon as you feel the benefits, you don't doubt anybody, do you?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
any
in.
running was disguised. It was like, it was all football. It was, honestly, I couldn't talk highly enough of the bloke. He put careers on so many players. You know, I don't mean that, you know, Lee Dixon played till he was 35, 36, Boldie 35, 36, Tony Adams, Nigel Winterburn. I mean, he would always say to players, don't do this, don't do that, and I'll get you to play to your 30, well into your 30s. And this was at top standards, not at, you know, Lee was still very comfortable at Arsenal at 30 odd years of age, 35, 36, which that takes some doing.
How, you know, I mean, I'm fascinated with, you know, when you speak there about the names you mentioned, Dixon, Winterburn, Seaman, but like he was able to, Bold, Adams, able to convince. I mean, imagine like right now, if you're getting a dressing room where it's experienced players, it's very difficult to change their mentality and the way they go about it. Whereas like Arsene Wenger seemed to do it no problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. But I think, Chris, the thing that did help, as I said, was we were a struggling team. We wasn't ripping it up. It wasn't like we were really good and then George Graham left to go to a better club or something like that, and then another manager come in. We were prepared to listen. You know, we were struggling. We wasn't where we should have been at the time. And he knew every player. Honestly, you'd walk into training and he'd be in a room and he'd be watching a game and it was like it would be an under 18s international or under 17s international, and you could pick a player out and he could tell you everything about that player. Everything about that player. He was so far ahead of his time. It was scary.
Unbelievable.
But obviously now it moves on. Everybody's got that information now. But he had that before anybody.
Well, see, I mean, you obviously played when he came in at first and everything, and then you made that decision to leave to go to Middlesbrough. Was that a tough decision to leave Arsenal and go, up north?
You know what? It was. I loved it at Middlesbrough, but I was in my addictions then. I wasn't well. You know, it was pure. And I don't mean this disrespectfully to Middlesbrough, because I loved it at Middlesbrough. It was a great club. But it was greed. It was greed. I was in a bad place. I mean, I got offered so much money to go there that I just couldn't turn it down. And which looking back now wasn't the right thing to do. But when you get offered twice as much money, you know, when I left Arsenal and I went back and said bye to the lads and Arsene said, how did you get on? And I told him, he said, I'm not even giving Dennis Bergkamp what you're getting. And I was playing in the Championship. And he was playing for Arsenal. He's one of the best players ever to play in the Premier League. But it was my head. I wasn't well.
Did you feel as, like, I mean, I know you spoke openly about your addictions, but was it a case of you just needed the money, you wanted that money, or was it a case of you wanted to get out of London to run away from it? Or
no, it was the money. It was the money. It was the gambling at the time. It was the money. I just thought I just couldn't. Gambling minds are very different to other people's minds. Very different. Gambling minds is very different. And I just thought I just couldn't comprehend that I'd have been getting $8,000 a week extra. And if I'd have stayed, I look at that as a gambler, a compulsive gambler, instead of going, wow, I'd have still been getting $12,000 a week, which is phenomenal money. I'd have been looking at it saying I'm losing £24,000 a month. Sorry. Do you know what I mean? And that's
so you had the calculations in your head, basically doing everything and trying to work it out.
That's a compulsive gambler's thinking. You know, a compulsive gambler will spend all their money on gambling, but they won't just go out and buy something. Do you know what I mean? They'll go, no, I'd rather, you know, it's a very weird mindset unless you're a compulsive gambler. You just don't understand that. Do you know what I mean? And I wasn't well at the time. Now, you know, I'd be in Florida. I'd go to Florida and I'd be on unbelievable money, playing top club, and I'd sit in the car and I'd see families walking past who have probably saved up for their whole life to go to Florida. And I used to go every year. And I used to think, why can't I be like that? Why can't I be happy? Why can't I be like that? And I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it. It was a horrible, they saved up all their life and they're in Florida, the best place in the world when you've got kids. And I just couldn't be happy. And it's sad, really, because you're getting all that money, and it just shows you it's an inside job. It's not about the money. It's not about the money at all. But that's when I got to Middlesbrough. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. It was an unbelievable club, unbelievable fans, never known fans. They're up there with the best of the best, the travelling fans. But
yep.
It was a move where today I wouldn't make it.
Well, the one and only Paul Gascoigne, he joined you at Middlesbrough as well. How was that experience?
Wow, yeah, he was. Gazza was, he's the greatest English player I've ever seen. Do you know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. He was a phenomenal footballer. It wasn't the Paul Gascoigne. It was the Paul Gascoigne of the early 90s. Put it that way.
Did you? So obviously you played with him at England at the start, and then could you see that he wasn't himself? Did you try and help him there, or was it just a case of you were trying to hide your own addictions?
No, I mean, I was trying to help him. You want to help people. I mean, I wasn't too bad. I wasn't as bad as what I was in the early 90s, but you can't tell anybody anything. That's the one thing I ever learned. You can be there for people, and be there ready when they're ready, but you can't make people do anything, especially with addictions. I mean, unless that person wants to stop, before over the years, I've stopped for the FA, or the FA put me into treatment. If you don't go in, you're not playing football anymore. Walsall put me into America for gambling. If you don't do that, you're not playing football anymore. I wouldn't have done it myself, until I was ready. And that's why it never really worked. This time, it was me who went to AA. It was me who's doing it for me, not doing it for my wife, not doing it for the kids. I'm doing it for me. And I think that's where it works. Because if you do it for your wife and you have a big argument, the first thing you're going to say is, fuck this, I'm doing this for you. I'm going down the pub, or I'm going to go and do it for my money. It doesn't work like you have to do it for yourself. It's so important. And there's a million people. I'd love Gazza to get it. I've been, I took him to a treatment centre. He was in Priory years ago. And they asked me, I've got to go, will you go and see Gazza? And I said, yeah, of course I'll go and see Gazza. And I took Eric Clapton with me. And me and Eric went, and Gazza was in bed, and he was not in a good way, and sat round the bed, and Eric was saying, you just got to do this a day at a time. He's been a long time sober at the time. And you got to do this, you got to, and just take it easy, and this and that. And he was chatting away, and then Gazza, he went, does anybody want a coffee or a tea? And I went, yeah, I'll have a coffee, please, Eric. And Gazza went, I'll have a cup of tea, please. And he walked out the room, and Gazza went, who the fuck's that tramp? I mean, it's Eric Clapton. He's one of the biggest singers in the world. Yeah. I mean, it's just you have to want it. If you want it, you can do it. If you don't want it, you can't do it. It's impossible. You're an absolute
mess. Do you feel that? Obviously, you spoke openly about it when you said you're addicted to drink and then obviously gambling. Can you compare the two of them, or is gambling just way out on its own? Gambling's just something, that I think, as you just spoke about, until you've went through it, then you'll experience what it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's so different with gambling to drinking and drugs is the easiest thing to do in AA, the saying is, one drink's too many and 100's not enough. Like to say, as soon as you have that one drink, that is it. I could not tell you when I'm going to stop. I never have. I could never tell you when as soon as I have that first drink. So you have to put something in your body to get drunk. That first drink. If you want to get high, you got to put a drug in your body. With gambling, you don't have to put anything in your body. It's already in there, and that's where it's so hard. If you come out of a pub and you've just had 10 pints and you walk through 500 people in a shopping centre, some people will roughly have a good idea you've had a drink. Yep. You walk through them people and you've just dropped 100 grand, or take that back. If you own £300 a week and you've dropped £301 a week, you're in trouble. People won't know. People won't know, and that's why so many people kill themselves, because you can't see it. You just can't see it. You think you're a bad person, but you don't have to put anything in you. You don't, and that's where people have got to get used to. This is a major illness. Major illness. It's like players now; they can't go out. Can't go out. You get film cameras. You know, if you're out having a drink, what's he having a good time for? He's on $100,000 a week. He should be out. He should be indoors. You know, you can't win. So what do people do? It's easy to sit indoors and just pump.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. It's a problem. I never got that. I couldn't let go, Snods and Chris. As soon as I come off that pitch, I couldn't. The adrenaline was so high. I loved that adrenaline. I had to carry that adrenaline along. If it was drink, if it was drugs or gambling, I had to stay up there. I couldn't cope with life. I didn't. I'm just starting now to cope with life, and which is, I put up a barbecue the other week. I put a barbecue and a doll's house up for my little girl, Sienna. I'd never done that in my life. I'm 52. 52. I've never done that in my life. I mean, that is just normal stuff that, normal people do. But for me, that's.
Did you get high for that, Miss? Did you get a high from that?
Oh, unbelievable.
That's what I mean. So when you're gambling, you're searching for a high, which doesn't really exist. Because if you get that house full of money, you want another house. You want the next one. You want the next one. How low did it actually go for you, Miss? I know you've touched on it, but how low did it go for you?
I drive to work in the morning and have a million thoughts in my head. Just pull over in front of this lorry and take the lot, take it. I mean, that would go through my head constantly. I mean, I used to take me ages to get to work. I live 10 minutes from the training ground. I'd pull up every 30 seconds if someone was behind me to take me over, because I thought they were going to kill me. I mean, and then I'd think if I just pull in, and this was all going through my head, if I just pull in front of that lorry. But I never thought there was nothing wrong with that, because no one talked about mental health in them days. There was no mental health. If I'd have gone to someone, if I'd have gone to someone and gone, you know what, this thing's going through my head, I want to kill myself. The club will go, wait a minute. You think the club are going to go, wait, get rid of him, he ain't right. Or you're going to get you're going to get put away in a mental house. You're going to because that's not normal thinking. But I thought everybody was thinking like that. I thought everybody was thinking like that. And it is, it's now I think it's moved on so much. Believe me, it has moved on so much. I look at someone like Danny Rose and I think, wow, fair play to you. Fair play. I don't know Danny Rose. I've never met him in my life. But I always look at him and I always think, fair play to you. You've been out, you've had the balls to come out and go, you know what, I'm not right. I don't feel right. Because it must be horrible for players, because you're still going to get them people out there who are going to go, well, how's he going to be like that? He's on $100,000 a week. Shouldn't be like that. Exactly. If I was on $100,000 a week, I wouldn't be like that. And that's the problem we have is it's not the money. It's an inside job. The worst thing about it is, you imagine if you're really depressed and you're down and you're having suicide thoughts and you've got no money, you've always got that thing in the back of your head. You know what? If I get some money here and I get a break in life, things could change. That's not how it works. But that's what you're going to have in the back of your mind. When you're a player and you're on $100,000 a week and you have them thoughts, wow. How bad can it get? Because it can't get any better. It can't get any better. So, that's why it's not about money. It's about people talking. I mean, if I have a phone call, if I have my phone on and I miss 3 calls, I'm in trouble. If I look at my phone and I think I've just missed 3 calls and I haven't answered, I know my addiction's trying to get hold of me. I know my addiction's like, that's it, pull away. Because your addiction wants you on your own. It wants you on your own. It don't want you around good people. It don't want you talking. As soon as you talk, it takes the power out of it. Addiction wants you to draw away from people. Be on your own. Be on your own. I used to have, we have an apartment we have a house and then we have an apartment around the corner where we used to live, me and my wife. But because we got 2 little kids, we had to move. So we moved around the corner, but we still got the flat. I used to have it in my head. I used to get up on a Sunday when I had money and I think, right, start an argument now. She'll go mad. You pack the stuff, go round to the flat and go to the flat. You can go to the pub all day. You can punt all day. And I just go like that. And I sit in the pub. I sit in the flat for 3-4 days. go to the pub, go on a mad one, 3-4 days, do the whole lot, do everything, and then go home and go, is it all right if I come back now? And that was my thinking. That was my thinking. When I had money, bang, let's go and do that. 4 days, bang, bang, sit in a flat on your own, punting and gambling, just sitting there with the internet and bang.
See on that as well, Miss. You've a couple of minutes ago, you've actually probably said that your highlight of your life or being part of was actually out there with your little girl.
Yeah, building and my little boy,
like building that you know, the house for them to play in out the back door with the barbecue and everything. So, see, for anyone out there who might be struggling right now, you know, what advice have you got for them?
I talk to people. There is a way out. I mean, it is. I mean, you don't. This is the problem. As I said, addiction keeps you on your own. Do you know what I mean? And it will keep you away from people. You've got to talk to someone. I know it's hard because some people are always going to have the fear if they go and talk to someone at work, they might lose their job. If they talk to their wife or their girlfriend, they might leave them. And all this goes on in your head. You're always going to magnify everything. You always think of the worst. And I just think you need to talk to people. You've got to talk to someone.
See, when you're speaking about your wife,
yeah,
like you're causing an argument to go in it. Did she not know what was going on, or was it just like, well, from what I'm trying to say is if she knew that you were I'm going to cause this argument to get out. Like, is it important that people who are living with people with addictions and fighting, you know, battles daily, that they've got to understand more about, you know, what the person's going through?
You know what I think? I think the family suffer more than the person. In person,
yeah,
I do. I think that's the problem. You know, my wife didn't want me there. She didn't want me there. Why would you want someone who's drinking and gambling our future away? You know, you don't want that. Lucky enough, she loves me, but, you know, I had to go and get help in the end. And the only one who could help himself was me. She could beg me as much as she wanted. And please, come on, Paul, please, for the kids. And I love my kids dearly. But when you're in addiction's the most selfish thing you'll ever do in your whole life. It's all about selfishness. You know, you don't worry about having to pay the mortgage or having to do this. You do your last penny. And it all goes out. It's a very selfish disease, this is. And, you know, my wife loves me more than anything, but she didn't want to be around me in the end. She just didn't want to be around me. And that wasn't her fault. But they suffer the most because they see you killing yourself and you don't see it. You don't see it at the time. And, you know, fair play to her. She stuck by me.
See that fair play to, you know, your family, because a lot of people don't get, you know, those third, fourth chances and whatever it is. And, you know, I think you've tried to stop addictions. Obviously, you know, watching you and seeing you, you know, I've seen, you know, come out and speak about different things, and you see ex-players coming out and doing it. But, you know, what's different this time? Have you really admitted defeat to the illness? Is your ego no important now? What's so different now for times you've tried before?
You know what? As I said before, it's me now. I wanted this. I was walking, you know, as I said, I got thrown in with Arsenal. The FA threw me in for drugs and drink and gambling. Walsall threw me into a treatment centre for gambling. You know, this time was me. It was me. I was just fed up of being fed up. I was fed up of feeling the way I was. And I walked back from January the 6th, walked back, not this year, last year, like nearly 18 months ago, walking back from the British Legion on a Sunday. Wasn't my worst drink. Wasn't the worst drink I've ever had or done the most money I've ever done. I was just walking home at 11 o'clock and I just thought, I've had enough. I've had enough. And I got up the next morning, I rang AA and I went to AA and I've been going since. And, you know, and I don't drink and gamble. And it's me. I want this. You know, I want to do it. The penny dropped, which people will go, why didn't it drop before? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just fed up in the end of being the way I was. And it's not a nice way of being. You know, to have a great job and to have a great life and to be like I was is not nice.
See, on that, Merce, is a lot of it the circles that you're in, the people you're running around with? Not just yourself, but, you know, I listen to a lot of people that get in with the wrong crowd and they lead them down a path, and then, as you say, addiction pulls you and watching your own.
Not really. I'm not really. I'm a bit of not a loner, but I haven't got a million friends. Do you know what I mean? You know, I was one of them. I went in the pub and had a drink and had a laugh, but I never blame anybody. It's my age. It's up to me. They're my choices. You make the choices, and then you got to live with the circumstances, and that's the way I look at it. Really, you know, I never blame anybody, but myself. It's just me. You know, I'm not one of them people who start blaming people and going, if I weren't hanging around with him or I weren't hanging around with him, I wouldn't have done this. No, I don't buy into that stuff.
Yeah,
well, we'll move back onto the football for a period of time now. You went to Aston Villa, Portsmouth. Good times under Harry Redknapp.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Oh, I mean, I love the Aston Villa. I mean, Aston Villa's a phenomenal football club, and personally, I played my best football at Aston Villa. There's no doubt about that. I think for the 4 years, I think I played football that I'd never played before. So I loved it at Villa, and then to go to Portsmouth was just perfect for me. To go to play for a manager like Harry Redknapp, where it's all about man management. You know, I was coming towards the end of my career, and he just said, train on a Monday, train on a Thursday, train Tuesday, train Thursday, do what you want, bar that, do what you want. And that was all I'd done. I trained Tuesday, trained Thursday, see you Saturday. You know, and I played, I think I missed one game out of, I think it was about 50 odd games with Cup Run. So, you know, for me, Harry was perfect for me. Perfect.
How good is Harry? Because we had Jamie on the show, and you know, he spoke openly about his old man and said that, you know, he's a top manager, and you know, I've been in Harry's company as well. He's a great guy first and foremost. But how good was he as a manager? Because for me, I think man managing's everything as well. If you have both, it's a bonus. But man management, Steve Bruce for me was amazing. So how good was he, Miss?
I think one of the best I played for. I thought, you know, I get what I don't like is I hear people go, "Oh, he was a wheeler and dealer, Harry," and all that. He was as good as anybody tactically I played under. You know, he knew the game. You don't manage like 1,000 odd games if you ain't got a clue. Do you know what I mean? I think it's so disrespectful when I hear people say that. But he was a phenomenal manager. But man management, he'd let you go out and play. You make your own decisions. He wouldn't complicate it and say, right, Merce, you go and do this and do that and get back here. He'd go, right, you go out and you played the game long enough, get into the positions you need to get into, and don't let the team down. And that was what it was about. It wasn't like do this, do that, get back. You know, he wanted players on the ball who were going to hurt people. And he always had a good mixture. He'd never go out and buy players and go, I'll buy him, and then get everybody there and go, right, where do I play all these players now? You know, he'd have a plan. You know, he'd play me here, and he had two up front with pace. You know, he had two in midfield that were going to work another half extra harder because of my work rate compared to everybody else's. So for me, he was top manager. I couldn't talk highly enough of the bloke.
When did you feel your cells starting to go, Merce, like your body? What age when did you know?
Oh, when I was playing at Walsall. Your body only goes when you're playing in a shit team. It won't go when you're playing in a good team. Believe me. When you're playing in a good team and you're getting 65% of the ball and you're winning football matches, it doesn't go. I went to Walsall and we were struggling, and I think it was when youngsters were running past me, and you know, you got a red face and your head's going backwards as you're sprinting and they're jogging past you. I mean, that's when it was. Yeah, that was when it become unenjoyable. And football's the most enjoyable thing in the world. But when you're not enjoying it as much as you should be, that was when I knew I'd had. You know, people go, "Oh, I miss football and all that." I love football. I'm lucky enough to be in, but I don't miss play. I play with my mates, but I don't miss playing at the top level because I had that. And you know, when it comes to the end, you know, there's always a good time to get out. You know, and my time probably weren't a good time. I ended up in the conference, so it wasn't I went out in a blaze of glory. Do you know what I mean? I went out in a shit game against Halifax for Tamworth. Do you know what I mean?
What was the score?
We lost 1-0, I think. I mean, that was the hardest.
So by the way, if you had won that game, you were going to continue to play.
Oh, I'd have thought I'd play for England again. When we're training at Tamworth in the freezing cold on a Wednesday night, and Arsenal and Chelsea are playing Barcelona in the Champions League, and we're out on the training ground, and I'm sitting there with and turning to the manager, wouldn't it help if we all went in the players' lounge and just watched Chelsea against Barcelona? You know, that's when you know you got to pack it.
Yeah, see, Merson.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and that was it. And the next week I was sub at Grays Away. Grays Away. We travelled down to Grays, and as we got down there, manager went, "I'm going to leave you out today." I went, "What?" He went, "I'm going to leave you out. We've got a game at home next Saturday, Grays and Dees." I went, "Well, why didn't you just tell me? I could have stayed home and watched soccer Saturday."
Yeah.
So he went, "Be sub." So I'm sub, and I was walking around the pitch before the game, and the fans are going, "Oh, we come to watch you today," and all that. I went, "Oh, Sound-so left me out. He's a Sound-so, you know, one of them little kids." So I sit on the bench. I'm sitting in the corner like that in the dugout like that. All of a sudden, 1-0 down, 5 minutes. 7 minutes, player sent off. 10 minutes, 2-0 down. As it goes 2-0, he turns around, he goes, "Warm up." I said, "There's fucking absolutely no chance of getting on me on this pitch. 10 men, 2-0 down." I went, "Do one." I sat there. Honestly, we lost 5-0. I walked in the dressing room after the game, put my clothes on, and went home and never played football again.
Done
and dusted. I played Sunday mornings with my mates, but I never played football again. That was it.
Well, that's one way to go.
Down.
No messing about.
Put me on 2-0 down. Oh yeah, I'll change it.
How was the bus journey?
Do a couple of people.
How was the bus journey there and back?
No, I got a lift home. Didn't
even go in the bus. I love it.
I didn't even get on the bus. No, I went home.
Mercy, you had the opportunity to join a lot of clubs throughout your career. Did the opportunity ever to join Rangers or Celtic come up?
Yeah, Rangers a lot. Yeah, when Walter Smith was the manager, a lot. Yeah, my agent was Steve Cutnan, and they was always in for me. Rangers. Yeah, always.
Why did it never happen? Did you just no fancy it?
Yeah, I mean, without being horrible, I was playing at Arsenal at the time, and it was like in the. Yeah, I mean, I would have probably gone. I would have gone. It was just in them days I was a bit. When you're younger, you sort of get that. Your agent will go, "Well, if you put in a transfer, you can go." I didn't have the balls to do that. I didn't have the balls to do that, put in transfers, and then. Because in them days, if you put in a transfer, you'd petrify the George Graham, you'd have sat in the reserves for about 4 months. That's what it was like. So, but yeah, Leeds United and Rangers were the two, always. Howard Wilkinson and Walter Smith. Yeah.
Did you ever speak to Walter? Because when you look at that Rangers team back then as well, like Gascoigne, with McCoist and Laudrup and people like that, like to be part of that, you must have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean. I would have, yeah. I mean, I love playing. I just want to win. I mean, I play with my little boy now, Freddie, in the garden at 5. We were just playing in the garden just then, and I scored, and I run off like I've just scored at Wembley, and he goes mental, calling me every name. You know what I mean? Crying to mum, but she's going calm down, and I'm on my knees like that. But I just love winning, and that was a successful Rangers team. But yeah, I mean, I remember going up there and getting absolutely slaughtered in a friendly once when Chelsea stood on the ball. And Tony Adams was chasing after him like Benny Hill. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal team. But yeah, they were the two teams. And I think Anderlecht coming for me when I was 17 years of age, and I hadn't even played in the first team, that turned my head. Because Anderlecht at the time were a top European team, and I hadn't played for Arsenal. You're not sure you're going to get in the first team. And that sort of turned my head a bit, that did. Definitely.
Now, see, on Scottish football, a lot of it gets a bit of stick, but what do you think of the standard of it? Because, when you look at some of the players that have played up here, that have come down to the English Premier League and been a success, Snoddy being one of them as well, but what's your personal thoughts in the standard in Scotland?
I think sometimes you watch the standard and it's decent, and sometimes I can watch it and there's some bad mistakes. What I like and I have a lot of respect is for teams like Celtic to churn out 9 on the trot, and people say, "Oh, no, but they're not playing against anybody." They're playing against a cup final every week. Every week they're playing against a cup final. They're playing against a team that want to beat them so badly it's their cup final, and they have to turn up every week. And that's what I have to admire. I mean, it's phenomenal how these players do it. I mean, I watched Rangers absolutely wipe the floor with Celtic. In that game that day when they won at Rangers at Celtic. I mean, they played them off the park. It was embarrassing. It was like, whoa, Rangers are going to win the league here by 15 points. They're going to walk it. Then all of a sudden, Celtic go and win 10-11 on the trot, and Rangers are getting beat at St Mirren or somewhere like that. I mean, that's the difference. You have to turn up, and that's why I say these Celtic players at the moment. You know, I don't personally think they're much better than Rangers. I don't think they are. But what they got, they have that. They turn up every week knowing that that team they're playing is their cup final, and I don't think Rangers have got that at the moment. Until Rangers get that, even though I don't think there's much between the teams, if they played each other 20 times, one against the other, I think it'll be even Steven. But it's the games when they turn up at these other places and they don't treat it like a cup final like Celtic do. And and that's where I have a lot of admiring to do. To win 9 on the trot and people say, "Oh no, they're not playing again." That's disrespectful because, as I say, you know, someone like Kilmarnock will turn up against Celtic and then they'll take them to the limits and Celtic might score last kick of the game. And then next week they'll go and get beat 4-0 by Aberdeen, Kilmarnock. And you think, well, how's that happen? You just took Celtic to the limits because that weren't their cup final. And that's why you've got to put a lot of credit to Celtic.
See, obviously, looking at the situation, there's a lot of different things getting through about. Obviously, I understand if Celtic and Rangers come at the Scottish game, it's it'll be detrimental in the league. But would you like to see Celtic and Rangers, rubbing shoulders in the Premier League? Because we speak about, everybody goes, "Oh, they would never do well because it's a massive club." But if Celtic and Rangers went there, they would get the investment and the money that's involved in the Premier League. Would you like to see that happen? The stature and the size of them?
Well, the size of them. I mean, massive football clubs. I mean, when I was playing testimonial, you wanted to play Rangers or Celtic because you knew Celtic would bring 20,000 people there, and so would Rangers. But the police bill was 20,000 times more than what the thing was. But, I mean, it's a hard one because then you got someone like Leeds United to be going, wait there a minute, how can Celtic and Rangers come into our Premier League? Why are we not in the Premier League? Leeds are a big football club. So I think would Celtic and Rangers be prepared to start off in League Two and come through the leagues? If they were prepared to do that, I'd love to see it. And then I'm sure they'd be able to get through the leagues, no problem.
Yeah.